Why do some people become completely obsessed with UFOs, even when there is no proof? Not just curious, not just interested, obsessed. I'm not here to laugh at them or call them crazy, because what I found, after going deep into the psychology behind this, is something unexpected. The obsession with UFOs has almost nothing to do with aliens. It has everything to do with fear, with hope, with loneliness, with the desperate human need to believe there is something bigger than this. And by the end of this video, you might realize you've felt it too. Let's start with something uncomfortable. If you're not subscribed yet, do it now. Every week, content that most people will never think to look for. Ask someone obsessed with UFOs what they're actually looking for, and they'll say, the truth. Proof. Disclosure. But dig a little deeper, and something else shows up. A feeling that this world doesn't quite make sense. That something important is being hidden. That everyday life, work, bills, noise, can't be all there is. Psychologists call this the search for meaning. And it's one of the most powerful forces in the human mind. When people feel lost or invisible in a chaotic world, they reach for something that makes the universe feel ordered, significant, watched. UFOs aren't just lights in the sky. For a lot of people, they're a symbol, a placeholder, a sign that the universe is more interesting than it looks. But why would the brain do that? Why invent meaning where there might be none? That's exactly what Chapter 2 is about. Your brain is a pattern machine. It was built over hundreds of thousands of years to find connections, cause and effect, signals in the noise. It doesn't do well with gaps. It doesn't say, I don't know. When you see something you can't explain, a light in the sky, a secret that won't be revealed, your brain says, let me figure this out. Psychologists call this apophenia, the tendency to perceive meaningful connections between unrelated things. It's not a malfunction. It's a feature. It kept our ancestors alive. But in the modern world, it goes into overdrive. And the UFO community offers something incredibly powerful to a brain like that. A mystery with no bottom. Every answer creates 3 new questions. The mind stays hooked, permanently engaged, never bored. And here's where it gets strange. Because it's not just about the brain. It's about the heart. Think about the world we're living in. Climate anxiety, political collapse. The feeling that systems are broken, that leaders can't be trusted, that the future is uncertain in ways no generation before us had to face quite like this. In that context, is it so strange that some people would rather look up? The belief in extraterrestrial life is, in many ways, a form of hope. If we are not alone, the universe is bigger than our problems. If something out there has survived long enough to reach us, maybe we can survive too. And for others, it's escapism, a mental exit, an alternate world to explore when this one feels unbearable. The hours spent reading abduction reports, watching footage, analyzing blurry videos, they're hours away. Researchers have also found a link between UFO belief and a deep distrust of authority. And that distrust is often completely rational. Governments have lied. Programs were hidden. So the logic of, if they hid that, what else are they hiding, isn't crazy. It's a reasonable extrapolation. But what happens when belief becomes identity? Here's something no one talks about. The community. For a lot of people who fall into the UFO rabbit hole, it wasn't the videos that pulled them in. It was the people, the forums, The Discord servers. The YouTube channels where someone was finally asking the same questions they had been asking alone, in silence, for years. Belonging is one of the most powerful human needs. And the UFO community gives people exactly that. A tribe with a shared language, shared enemies, and a shared sense of being the ones who see what others refuse to look at. But once a belief becomes tied to your identity, to your friendships, your community, your sense of self, it becomes almost impossible to question it. You're not just doubting a theory anymore. You're doubting who you are. And the algorithm doesn't help. The more you engage, the deeper you go. The more extreme the content, the more the outside world seems threatening. So are these people crazy or just deeply human? The answer matters. And it gets more complicated in the next chapter. There is a line, and it matters to know where it is. Curiosity about UFOs is healthy. Humans have always been fascinated by the sky, by the unknown, by what lies beyond. Even scientists take this seriously now. But obsession is something different. Obsession looks like canceling plans to watch a 6-hour conspiracy documentary. Feeling genuine rage, not just frustration, but rage, at people who don't believe. Seeing connections in things that have nothing to do with UFOs. Psychologists have noted that in some cases, extreme UFO belief overlaps with symptoms of paranoid ideation and dissociation from consensus reality. This is not a judgment. It is a pattern. And it almost always begins with something real. Real pain, real distrust, real loneliness that found an outlet. The mystery didn't create the wound. It just became the bandage. But what if the scariest part has nothing to do with the obsession itself? If you've ever known someone obsessed with UFOs, comment below. Do you think it's curiosity or an escape from reality? Here's what keeps me up at night about all of this. Not the videos, not the reports, not even the government hearings. The obsession with UFOs is, in many ways, a mirror. And what it reflects is a society that has failed to give enough people a sense of meaning, community, trust, wonder. When official institutions stop being trustworthy, people find unofficial ones. When the world feels small and predictable, people seek out the infinite. When they feel unseen, they find communities that see them. When science feels cold, they find mythology that feels warm. UFO obsession, at its core, is not about stupidity or madness. It is about a very rational response to a world that often refuses to provide irrational amounts of wonder, purpose, or belonging. And that's not a UFO problem. That's a human problem. Our problem. The people staring at the sky aren't asking, "Are we alone in the universe?" They're asking, "Does anyone out there care that I exist?" If this video changed something in the way you see this, leave a like. Tell me in the comments, which part hit hardest? And look at the video appearing on screen right now. It continues exactly this conversation, just from a different angle. Maybe the real mystery isn't what's in the sky. Maybe the real mystery is why we need something to be there.